Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button, please, if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all so much for being patient with me. I am still sick, which you can probably hear, but I didn't want to miss another day to do a podcast because so much is happening. So much to laugh about, talk about. Hey Elaine Parker, hey Connie. Okay. Hey Black Queen, hey Rosalind, hey Joan. So before we get started, actually, should I do it now or should I do it at the end? Remember a couple of, gosh, maybe like a week plus ago or something, I told you all to vote for who I I thought should be gifted with the free Squaty hooks, right? Um, and then I never actually got round to going back to that podcast and um seeing who you voted for. So I think two of the highest voted for people were Dorothy Ross and Elaine. And I did say that I wanted to give one to Vera. So those of you who are the reason I'm not even sure if I should do this now is because it's so early in the podcast. Maybe some people will stream in later. But I wanted to ask you again who you think should get the free Squatty Hooks items. And this time I will actually see who you vote for. So I'm going to ask you now, and then I will also ask at the end when more people are in the podcast. And I will actually remember this time to go back and look. For those three people that I have said so far, though, Dorothy Ross, Elaine Parker, and also to Vera. If you do want the items, please do email me before the end of the week at ansimalambo@gmail.com. If you haven't emailed me by the end of the week, I'll just assume that you don't want it, or you want me to give it to someone else, or if you want me to give it to someone else, let me know now, and then we can pick someone else. Um, that would be great. Elaine's actually in the chat. So Elaine, do you actually want the item? Let me know now. If not, we can vote for someone else. Otherwise, I'll make sure that you get it and I'll wait for your email. I don't think Vera's in the. I mean, Vera, I can actually email her because I've got her email. Dorothy Ross, I don't think I have her email. Um, so y'all let me know. Okay, so Elaine, you definitely want. Okay, Elaine's definitely getting one. Okay, got that sorted. So Elaine, please do email me, please. Please do not forget before the end of the week, ansimalambo@gmail.com. If you don't email me before the end of the week, I will give it to someone else. So let me take a note of that. Elaine's getting a gift. I will email Vera to ask her. And then I will try and get in contact with Dorothy Ross. And then if Dorothy doesn't get in contact with me, then I can pick someone else. Somebody else is voted for Connie. Lovely. Okay, Connie will be on the list as well then if somebody doesn't get back to me. Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's get on with it, shall we? Well. How the tide has turned. Do you remember all those articles that were returned that, Harry and Meghan were going to get booed? Jeremy double chin neck Clarkson writing about how he wanted Meghan to be paraded through the streets and booed and had feces thrown at her. And yet it's the other royals walking around being booed. What was quite interesting about this particular scene that you can see here of the royals walking through the crowds at the Commonwealth Day service is all the crowds were. Might as well just get to this now, actually. Let's just get to this now. The crowds were all at the front, and behind the crowds of protesters, there were actually hardly any crowds of people, just, onlookers coming to, enjoy the sights and sounds of Commonwealth Day service. Like the onlookers who came, who were presumably there to just enjoy themselves, they were almost matched by the crowds of protesters, which is quite remarkable. Um, I think I actually wait. I think do I have a video? Let's see if I actually have the video. No, my phone wants to act up. Maybe I'll have it later on in the podcast because my phone is acting up at the moment and I can't send the video to my computer. Um, but if you actually watch the video, the boos are audible. Like you could hear people from across the street when they were walking in. Interestingly enough, some of the newscasts afterwards edited the sound so you couldn't hear the boos and the heckling and the yelling. And some of them also edited the footage so that um, you don't see the cameras from like this shot that you can see it here, so you can actually see the protesters. But a good old propaganda, can't let people see. Um, Shout out to the Not My King folk. They said that they were going to be wherever the royals went, and indeed they have shown up. Kate, interestingly, recycling an outfit that she wore. This is the outfit that she wore when they had the Korean officials. There was that whole controversy because she wasn't wearing tights or anything underneath. This time she was actually wearing, I think, like the knee length tights. Some people felt that she did that on purpose to draw attention to herself. I didn't think it was a big deal at the time, but it's interesting that something like that, um, they go on and on about protocol, and if it was Meghan that was flashing her legs like that, it would have been a big thing. But Kate, nobody batted an eyelid. Interesting also that she's recycling an outfit because some people are theorizing that they have cut her budget or cut her off completely. And this also comes just after Women's Day, when this happened. So on Women's Day, um, the royal family account were celebrating female photographers who had taken pictures of female royals. And Kate was not included in this. Now, they included the late Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Victoria, going all the way back to the 1800s, Princess Anne, Queen Alexandra, again going all the way back to the 1800s, and Duchess of Edinburgh. I think that's Sophie, right? So everyone except for Kate, which is quite interesting. To be fair, I don't actually. Camilla's not on this. Is Camilla on this actually? But some people spotted that and thought it was just interesting. Now, does it mean that Kate has never been photographed by a female photographer? Why didn't they do something that was perhaps a little bit more inclusive of all of oh, actually, so Camilla is in this. Well, she's on the, if you look at the actual post, she's on the second slide. She's on the second slide. So yeah, it's only Kate that's not included. They went all the way back to the 1800s, but they didn't include Kate, who's meant to be the next queen consort once Charles departs this earth and William becomes king. Now, there's been all of these little signs that she's being sidelined, having her sit behind the candelabra at the state, dinner. She's been seen without her ring many times, all of the weird stuff that happened, last year. Um, there's definitely something going on in this household, and it's just I just find it silly how we all have to play along with this charade just for the sake of a fairy tale that is effectively just a nightmare at this point. Yeah, the shade of it all. The shade of it all, Rhonda. Oh, Vera, you're here. Can you please let me know if you would like the free gift from Squatty Hooks since I have your email anyway? If not, we'll give it to someone else. But I did choose you to be gifted. Vera, you must say the photo. Kate's photos of Camilla were very good photos. So the one on the Instagram, did Kate take those photos? Is that what you're saying? Oh, are you talking? I think you're talking about the photos that they took for Camilla's gardening thing, right? Is that it? Janae, you said you know it's throwing shade when they pick Sophie over Kate. That exactly. There's no way that was by accident. I'm sorry. There's just no way. And on the royal family account as well, their main one. There's no way. You can't tell me that was by accident. Wasn't Kate photographed by a female photographer from Age magazine? I'm pretty sure she has been. Yeah, maybe for Vogue. I personally thought it was shade. Thank you so much, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Vera, did you respond to my comment just now? I can't see your response. No worries, I'll send you an email. Okay, on to the next thing. So on something positive, away from these lot. Harry, I didn't get to cover this, but he did attend the Rock for Responders benefit at the Granada Theatre in Santa Barbara, where he chatted with first responders, continuing to show his support for the victims of the LA wildfires. I am so sure that Harry and Meghan have been doing lots behind the scenes. Communities have been coming together. They've been doing food drives, clothing drives, making sure people have the resources that they need after losing everything. And there's also actually been a lot of celebrities who have been calling out big corporations who have, been trying to swoop in and buy people's homes and basically profit off of people's desperation. So just all around, I feel like people are making the best effort that they can. Communities helping each other, and here Harry showing up for first responders who are absolutely doing the Lord's work. Also, with Love, Meghan is getting a lot of praise amidst all of the haterade. TikTok, by the way, TikTok has been coming out for our girl. And if you are posting, carry on posting your inspiration. Meghan's friends are actually showing her everything that you're posting. And actually, Meghan posted in her stories recently, or she reposted a bunch of TikToks, people cooking, gardening. Honestly, I feel like with Love Meghan is the positive propaganda that we needed. Joyful influencing. Like, this is the type of influencing that I want to see now. More wholesomeness. We've had a whole decade of just influencing like toxic diet culture, plastic surgery culture, like all of these things, especially stuff aimed at women. Now I feel like we just need something wholesome, fun, that everybody, the whole family, men, women, children, the parents, the grandparents, everybody can get involved in and connect with each other again, you know? Especially in the US. I mean around the world in general, but what's happening politically. They want chaos so they can get control. Absolutely not. We will be in our houses cooking, having family time, less division, more community action, and just more softness. in these hard times. That's really what With Love Megan, I think, has given people. I've been posting on my, if you go to the Duchess of Success official Instagram, I've been posting almost daily hundreds and hundreds of people's tweets, TikToks, how people are being inspired. It's actually insane. I saw one TikTok that was like, point of view my wife after watching With Love Megan, and they've gone to the gardening store and bought all of these gardening supplies, and they're like potting plants. So they've basically, they're gonna start growing some plants and gardening, which is amazing. All of these people putting their own spins on Megan's uh, dishes, or being inspired to find new dishes, start cooking again, start cooking better. Anyway, this was in Harper's Bazaar 25 best feel good television shows, and Megan got thrown in there at number 8. Megan Sussex is going back to her roots. Her new lifestyle series, which has been greenlit for season 2, is all about bringing intention, thoughtfulness, and care to life's otherwise mundane moments. Whether that means artfully plating pasta for a friend or preparing fruit salads with flour sprinkles, come for the how-tos, tips on hosting, and stay for Megan's breezy Montecito style and Nancy Meyers aesthetic. By the way, do you remember the day after the show aired, and you had Good Morning Britain making fun of Megan's rainbow fruit plate, which, by the way, hundreds of people have been recreating. Many of those people recreating it with their kids. Now, on Good Morning Britain today, they were remaking Megan's pasta skillet. So, hate in 1 minute, being inspired the next. They actually had a chef come on who recreated the dish, but she did it wrong. This is somebody who claims to be a whole chef, did it wrong, tried to criticize it, and then tried to get the host to criticize it. But surprisingly, the host didn't play along with the hateration for once. We know that Good Morning Britain is full of hateration for Meghan. So it just really shows. I think Meghan is just a shining example of people are going to hate on you. Do you anyway? Because where it matters, um, people will feel inspired by you. People will connect with you. Here's a young man here who felt inspired to buy flowers for his house. How lovely is that? And it's just something so simple. I was looking at his Twitter thread where he posted this, and that those little vases, he bought those from Shein. You could easily find those on Amazon or anywhere else. Just some nice little flowers for his bookshelf. He put them on his bookshelf. It's the little things. It's not about spending millions, because we don't all have millions. It's the little things to bring yourself joy, to bring joy to other people in your life, to live with intention. That's really what it's about, living with intention, being intentional. Here's another person, bought some nice simple flowers for their home. I've been seeing so many people, in their kitchen, working class people. Um, the haters always go and hate. There was this individual. I'm gonna actually read about this in more detail, because there's an article from a feminist online outlet that's been doing amazing writing about the whole situation with Meghan and the criticism against her. So we'll get into this story in a little bit more detail when I read that. But just as an overview, you had this so-called chef who I've never heard of, a so-called James Stocks. He criticized Meghan's cooking show. Um, he claimed that they asked him to be on the show and that he then turned it down. Why they would ask this nothing and no one to be on Meghan's cooking show, a blatant lie. And the fact that he went on GB News to say this. Sincerely hope he wears a beard net and a hair net with all of that flying around when he's cooking. Why would they ask you? Now, interestingly, the New York Post then corrected this and said that he wasn't invited to participate. And then, to absolutely nobody's surprise, if you know enough about these haters, we found some dirt on this guy. Walter Mitty chef James Stocks has done a runner for a third restaurant after £7,000 went missing. The 26-year-old was taken on at the hotel Hebrides on Harris last September. The owner, Angus and Christie, decided to give him a chance, although he had quit another executive hotel in 2008 after the record revealed he lied about his career. The couple also knew he had left a trail of debts when he walked out of his Wild Sorrel restaurant in Edinburgh in November, but they were left red-faced when he failed to show up for work last week. Would somebody like to guess why this particular individual is able to go from one place to the next, lying about his credentials, be believed, and work at what it seems like very exclusive places? I mean, are these people doing their checks and balances before they hired this guy? He went to a third place, lied about his credentials, so-called chef, and you give him a chance and he's running off with money every single time. Definition of failing up. A source said he had a reputation when they took him on, but they thought he had changed his ways. Oh yeah, the Jameses of the world always getting a second, third, fourth, fifth chance. After this, they had been left a bit of a laughing stock. At its opening last year, Stocks boasted his new hotel eatery named Restaurant James Stocks had been purpose-built to get our first Michelin star after £1 million relift. Christie said at the time her and her husband were not worried about his past. Oh, of course they weren't. Of course they weren't worried about his past. Why would they be? On Harris, we take people on at face value. Does that apply to all people or just people like James Stocks? Because I don't think that we take people on at face value for a luxury Michelin star place. I don't think that applies to all people with all different types of faces. I think it only applies to people with faces like James. I'm sorry. This was despite revelations on the record in May 2008 about Stock's fantasy CV. I mean, how do you lie about being a top chef? How can you lie? The proof is literally in the pudding. He was set to be the focus of a documentary on culinary stars and had a book deal, but the projects were scrapped when his claim of senior status at leading restaurants, including one owned by Hell's Kitchen star Macro Pierre White, were rubbished. White said, "He is a Walter Mitty. I don't remember him. I wish he'd stop calling me." Oh my goodness. You know what this reminds me of? Um, you know that girl. Oh, was it Anna Sorkin, that famous con artist who fooled New York, and she managed to fool them into, or Anna Delvey, also known as Anna Delvey. She posed as a wealthy heiress to access upper class New York social circles. And she managed to lie. So much so that she got money from banks, from investors. She was able to stay in luxury hotels. People lent her money. Rich people let them stay in their houses. Rich people let her stay in their houses. And she's now become the reality TV star that she always wanted to be. Anyway, he's now come out. So he went on GB News and he lied. The lie was corrected, surprisingly, by the New York Post. He's now come out and said that he's getting death threats. The haters always, claim that they're getting death threats. From who? I mean, there are actual NAZIs in jail for threatening Harry and Meghan. Who are these people that would be giving them threats? Hi, Abina. By the way, y'all, if you don't know Abina, go and follow her on Instagram. She's hilarious. Yeah, he looks incredibly untidy, both on the outside and on the inside. Oh, some of your comments are hilarious. Um, Pretty's been hibernating for a couple of months. Notice how all of the haters, male or female, always look so damn disheveled. Gross. Um, Cookies and Cream, you said the insane anger at Meghan's show was a very well coordinated attempt by that trash family and their hounds to sabotage the show. Meghan's obsessed has them worried and going berserk. The success of the show and the influence, because the influence, and we'll get onto that in a sec, is the crazy part. Anyway, James here says that he's been getting death threats. Camilla Tominey the liar also said the same thing. I mean, you go on a show, you try to direct vitriol at somebody else, and then you're surprised when vitriol comes to you. I don't think he received threats at all. I think people just told him that he was a liar and he's over exaggerating. Hey, Dorothy Ross. Just saying hi before I go to bed. Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with you too. I'm Dorothy Ross. If you want the Squaty Hooks free prize, do email me. If not, just let me know and then I can make sure it goes to someone else. But I did pick you. Oh, hey Valerie, how you doing? Um, it's the laugh tracks he is hearing. Yeah, people laughing at him. I mean, a literal con artist. He should be in jail. Anywho, yeah. So that's hater number one. Before we read the article, because it was a very good one. Hater number two, Bethany Frankel. Bethany Frankel, she needs help. This woman needs so much help. I don't even think she knows how much help she needs. Now, she went on this whole rant, this unhinged rant about Meghan. What I didn't actually realize was the extent of Frankel's obsession with Meghan. I knew she'd spoken about Meghan before, but I went on TikTok and I typed in Bethany Frankel Meghan, and I think almost 7 different videos came up. And each one, she sounds more ridiculous than the last. Now, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna play the video. Um, but in this video, and I think what's so interesting about this one is she starts off the video by saying, you know, you could you could ask me why Meghan Markle gets so much hate, but I'm gonna tell you why. This lady has Meghan on the brain all the time. Meghan lives rent free in her mind. Mind you, nobody was really actually asking you what you thought about this show. You didn't have to tell us and what you thought about the show or why you think Meghan gets so much hate. You just decided to make a video and talk about her again and have her on your mouth again because you can't get away from your obsession. So the first thing she says in this video is she talks about how around the time that Meghan was getting married, she was going through a breakup. And then she slyly throws in that she briefly had a thing with Meghan's ex. Meghan's ex, who, mind you, is now married to another rather beautiful woman, and they have 3 kids together. So he's definitely not thinking about Bethany Frankel. They likely had one date. He saw that she was a bit of a weirdo and a grifter and ran. That man hasn't. I don't think that Trevor, I think his name is. I don't think he's ever even mentioned Meghan once. So why is Bethany Frankel talking about I briefly went out with Meghan's ex? She is so unhinged. I actually like, I was just so fascinated by this that I went to her Instagram and I looked down her page. I'm sorry, but this woman looks completely unhinged. Like, if you're a man and you're looking at Bethany Frankel, I'd run a mile too. It's giving crazy. Who would want this? It's not about how she looks physically. It's about what she is on the inside. She is a very bitter, obsessive woman, and you can see it. And there's so many like her who are just obsessed with Meghan. It's literally a sickness at this point. It is actually a sickness. And then the other thing that she talks about in this video, in the second half, is she starts talking about how she feels like she can direct Meghan, how Meghan is making mistakes. Oh, I just need to, please let me help you, let me steer you in the right direction. Why do you feel like you want to be close to somebody who you're so critical of? I promise you, Bethany is doing everything she can to probably show up at the same event or something that Meghan's at, just so she can get close to her. And this is what obsessive haters do. They actually want to be you. And let's be honest, like Meghan, she's a beautiful woman, married to the playboy that became, the good husband and father who just happens to also be the prince. Great hostess, dresses well, writes with fine calligraphy. I mean, really, if you're a very insecure person, you absolutely would be jealous of Meghan. I think secure people look at Meghan and go, "Oh, I actually feel very inspired." Very insecure people, especially people like Bethany Frankel, who believe that what Meghan has, she should have had. The fact that she actually talks about her feeling um terrible, and when she was going for a breakup and she saw Meghan's wedding and watching how Meghan, had everything. I'm sorry, but that's just very unhinged behavior. How can you look at somebody else and then you feel bad about your own life? I don't know. I've always been raised to be grateful for what you have and have an abundance mindset that what's for you will come to you. So I can't even fathom that way of thinking. It's weird to me. I can't put myself in that headspace. She and all of the other girlies like her need help. And it's always people who have nonsense happening in their own backyard. Let's have a look at this. Do you all remember this headline? Yes, they're jolly full. Sorry, yes, they're joyful in love. So why do I have a niggling feeling about this engagement picture? Sarah Vine. Sarah, no neck niggling feeling Vine. Sarah Vine was worried about Harry and Meghan's engagement and their relationship only years later for her husband, Tory MP Michael Gove, to divorce her. He is now coming under the hammer for dodgy PPE deals during COVID, for helping broker those deals. Michael Gove told officials to buy 10,000 ventilators from Dyson during pandemic in an effort to procurement rules. So doing some dodgy deals, helping his friends get deals during the pandemic when the focus should have been on helping the people. That's Sarah Vine's ex-husband who divorced her. They're always worrying about everybody else, always throwing hate everywhere else, and not taking care of their own home. And this is all of the women that hate Meghan, by the way. This is all of them. Meghan Kelly, I'm not even going to get into Meghan Kelly on this podcast. Oh, I'm coming for Meghan Kelly in our next podcast. We're going to giggle and laugh. Tune in tomorrow, folks. If you've seen that Don Lemon clip, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. If not, tune in tomorrow. Sarah Byrne didn't seem to have a niggling feeling about her own. Also, just the use of the word niggling. Like, really? So blatant. The racism is so blatant. And they don't even try to hide it. And one by one, karma's coming to all of them. Michael Gove will probably end up being the fall guy. They always have to pick one. Anywho, let's get to your comments and then there's an article I want to read out. Hey, Lightside, thanks for joining us. You can't put dirty through the wash and make them clean. Oh yeah, Rahini, where is Omarosa to roast the hell out of Bethany when we need her? Indeed. Omarosa was probably the best thing about Bethany Frankel's show that only lasted 1 season. She also did another show called Money Court, which only lasted 2 seasons. Lottie, that's why Bethany is angry, because Trevor did marry her, and yes, they tried to offer Trevor money to talk about Meghan, but he wouldn't say a word about Meghan. Yeah. I mean, I believe it was Meghan that gave him the ring back, so clearly that man did something. And he knows better. He's a Hollywood guy. Keep your mouth shut. Rahini, didn't she get conned by her ex who she had to pay child support to? I don't know about that. I did find out recently though that Nana Akua of GB News is actually married to an ex-gangster. Oh no, she's engaged. He proposed recently, actually. She's engaged to an ex-gangster. So no wonder she's perpetually pissed at Meghan, who got the prince. Also, before I actually get to that article that I want to read, this was happening. Now, the picture in the corner with William, that is a new picture. That is from this week. I have also, since sitting down to do my slides, seen another recent picture, very similar to this, of kids just looking bored as hell, people looking bored as hell, while being around these unroyals. And it's happened so many times now. And at this point, I have to ask why. Why is it that people just look so I mean, these people, most of them, especially the grown-ups, agree to go and meet and be in front of these people. And yet there's something about their energy that just makes people look sad, confused, shocked. I remember there was a photo not too long ago where William had gone to another event where he was meeting kids, and one of the little boys had his hand over his nose as if to suggest that William smelled. This happens I could literally make a whole collage of pictures like this. But you look at pictures of Harry and Meghan, smiles all around. People are so excited to meet them. It's like with the other royals, people are just confused. There's something that they see or sense in person that just has them looking like this. Like, what's going on? And you know, a person's energy really does radiate. And it's not something that you can hide. You know, if someone is just carrying that negative energy, it's going to come through. All right, let's go to comments. By the way, Serena Williams, she has a new clothing line coming out. She got a new clothing line for kids. Sorry, oh God, I've just seen something really annoying that I need to respond to. But anyway, let me try and get this article for us to read because I thought it was brilliant. And this is okay, while that's loading, I think I'll go to your comments. Bethany, Patricia, sorry, you said Bethany's inside is showing on the outside. She's looking unhinged. Indeed, she is. She's looking so unhinged. So unhinged. They all are. I mean, nobody's forcing you to watch. Go mind your bit. Go watch those old Martha Stewart reruns. If you think she's so fake and you can't relate to Meghan, go watch those old Martha Stewart reruns. Go watch the hundreds of other cooking shows that are all out there. You know, they behave as if somebody's forcing them. Anyway, sorry, I found the link to the article. With Love, Meghan renewal exposes failed smear campaign. The critics declared Meghan Sussex Netflix show With Love, Meghan a failure before it even aired, only for it to be renewed for a second season. I mean, Netflix was so confident they shot the second season and had it ready in the bag, and then announced it literally 2 days after, second season coming. The media insisted that the lifestyle series was unwatchable, that Netflix regretted its deal with the Sussexes, and that Meghan's career in entertainment was over. Headlines called the show pointless and predicted it would be axed. But now Netflix has renewed the show for a second season, proving those narratives false. The press, caught in its own misinformation, is scrambling to move the goalposts. Instead of acknowledging that With Love, Meghan found an audience, critics now claim the renewal is undeserved. Once again, the pattern is familiar. Meghan's successes are ignored, her products are trashed before they can be judged fairly, and the media's credibility continues to erode. I mean, I don't think that Meghan was ever, planning on making some high level culinary Michelin stuff. That's not what this was even ever meant to be. It was meant to be things that people could easily remake. And actually, if you actually watch some of these, Martha Stewart, a lot of these other cooking shows, it's, mix the fine vanilla taken from the finest trees, of the Grandular Mountains. Oh, but if you don't have that, you can just use this from the market stall. They use all these like fancy ass ingredients that you just can't find in the market in the cooking show. Meghan show is actually the ingredients that they use. You can find them in your local store pretty easily. So I don't even know why they're talking about her show like it's so unrelatable when you compare it actually to some other cooking shows. In December 2024, the Daily Mail reported that Meghan's show may not see the light of day and called it make or break for her career. Well, they predicted it wrong. They predicted it wrong. Also, I saw this on my Twitter timeline, but I couldn't really understand what was going on here, and I couldn't even be bothered to read it because I'm like, am I really going to read this man's rant? But this is to do with Variety. Variety is under fire for assigning Daniel Adario, a known Meghan Sussex critic, to review With Love, Meghan. His past tweets show a long history of mocking Meghan and even making inappropriate jokes about her daughter, Princess Lilibet Diana. Critics say Variety chose him to ensure a negative review, of course, raising serious questions about journalistic ethics, especially if he's been posting inappropriate things about a young girl, a child. He has been tweeting negative comments about Meghan since 2017. His tweets took a disturbing turn when he began fixating on her daughter's name. He joked that Harry and Meghan should call their home the Lily Pad and suggested that Meghan would pick a name based on popularity trends. His comments are unsettling, especially for a journalist covering her work. Why would Variety allow someone with such bias to review Meghan's show? Well, this is the same Variety that came with that ridiculous. Actually, no, that wasn't Variety. That was Vanity Fair, wasn't it? That came with that hit piece. Well, Variety's lost any access. Wait, no, didn't Variety do that shoot with Meghan before? It was like it was actually a really nice shoot. Wait, let me just double check. Yeah, it was actually a really nice shoot that they did with Meghan. Okay, they've lost access then. They've lost access. They actually did a really nice, and now I remember. I remember the cover as well. So why, I don't know why they would sabotage their chances of access like this, because that was actually a very well done story. It was a very well done shoot. It was very beautifully shot. Some of the nicest shots that I've seen, editorial shots that I've seen of Meghan for a while. So why would they sabotage their chances? And didn't Meghan also show up to she showed up to the Variety Women's event as well. So why are Variety sabotaging themselves like this? Oh well, their loss. No access for you. Um okay, so then he goes on to talk about the James Stocks, the chef who was lying, who appeared on GB News claiming he turned down an offer. He implied that Netflix approached him, but he refused because he did not want to work with Meghan. Oh, Meghan doesn't want to work with you. Feeling is mutual, but of course it was a lie. All these people do is lie. I mean, this man should be in jail for stealing, but he was treated like a credible voice. And the media have a history of paying for anti-Meghan lies. We all remember Simon Rex. The Daily Mail offered him $70,000 to lie about hooking up with Meghan. I mean, I don't know why two grown consenting adults um would be such a salacious story, but it just shows you the standard that they judge a woman like Meghan by in comparison to any other woman. Two grown adults hooking up isn't a story. It's not a story worth 70,000 unless you're trying to ruin or dirty someone's name, and that's how easy it is um to dirty your name when they feel that you shouldn't have access to certain things. A woman who looks like Meghan, who has her background, should not have access to what she has access to. So the most insignificant thing can be used to dirty your name. Whereas you can be a whole friend of Jeffrey Epstein staying at his house, and it takes 5 different documentaries for it to even cause a splash and for people to be outraged. How many shows have they made about Prince Andrew? Documentaries, the interviews, the dramatization of the whole thing. How many? I can think of maybe at least 3 so far. It took all of that for it to become a story. But apparently, Meghan hooking up with Simon Rex, which never happened, that lie would have been worth 70,000 and currency to the British tabloids. The double standards is so ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. Now the media with Meghan's show, now they're trying to move the goalposts, but there's nowhere for the post to really move. There's going to be a season 2. There will probably be a season 3, 4, 5, 10. And Meghan is multifaceted. She may move on from cooking. Harry apparently likes to scuba dive. I wouldn't be like, should we get a show with Harry, please? Best scuba diving locations around the world. Should we have a show about surfing? Since he's surfing now. Give us everything. And the thing I love is the press and the haters, they're going to find out when Harry and Meghan are ready to share whatever it is that they're doing. You think about how many people were involved in shooting this show, and they didn't even know that they had shot all the way even to season 2. So now you've got to wonder who's in season 2. We're not going to find out until the trailer comes out, and I love it. And the trolls and the haters hate it. Happy days. I'm so glad we finally got here. Didn't think we would, but we prayed on it, and here we are. Okay. I am yeah, I'm gonna end on your comments, and then we'll wrap things up because we're going for almost an hour. Yeah, Jetstar, Bethany be running her mouth. Running her mouth. Yeah, she's trying to police Meghan. She's trying to police a woman who she feels should not have access to the life that she has. Janita, Trevor probably left his date with Bethany before the first course arrived. Indeed. I'm not even going to play Bethany's video because while I am allowed to play things with currency, that woman is so bitter, and my Twitter post about her went so viral. She's the type of person who would try to give you a copyright strike and get your channel taken down. Oh, is Lauren Brown here? Hey, Lauren, if you're here. Yeah, the Don Lemon clip. We're gonna go through that tomorrow. Oh, Meghan, my father, McCain. I haven't even gone to look at whatever it is she's saying. I bet you she is ready to order Meghan's jam. Whatever she says. Yeah, bitter, 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 bitter. Let's get this. Let me get this guy's face on the screen. So sorry. There. Oh, Abina is no, cool. Is she Ghanaian? Okay. I didn't know that. Yes, Helen. I heard that her partner was in jail for 17 years. I think it was for like fraud or something. He had quite a life crime. Well, he's a reformed gangster apparently. Apparently he's reformed. And listen, that's what the criminal justice system is for, right? We want people to be reformed. And yeah, we'll see how that goes down with him and Nana. We'll see how we'll see how reformed he is in that marriage. Congratulations on your engagement, guys. Leslie, it's all for money. When that guy gets enough money, he will dump her. Well, he's reformed, guys. Come on. We need to have faith in the system. People can be reformed. Ah. Okay, seriously, I don't think, everybody should be judged by their past forever. But seriously, like that is just interesting that she would get with a reformed gangster of all people. That's the best a GB news host can do. Anyway, wishing your marriage love and light. She proposed to him and bought the ring and paid for the wedding. And his back child support and bail. Wait, are you talking about Bethany there? I mean, if that's the case, no wonder she's bitter. Prudis, Nana even copied one of Meghan's dresses to show off her gangster engagement ring. Oh. Oh gosh. Oh, he's a failed robber. Oh gosh. Yes, Shirley. Thank you for reminding us. Another season of Archetypes is coming this spring. Yeah, while they're hating on Meghan, just laughing all the way to the bank. Meanwhile, some people are being booed into the church service. Can you believe it was 5 years ago? they walked into that church service, giving Harry and Meghan the evil eye, Kate being so snotty. Oh, how the tables have turned. Oh, how the tables have turned. Just so they don't understand that everyone adores her. They can't believe it. Yeah. They can't believe it because they've chosen to, first of all, believe the lies and the narratives about Meghan, believe the lies and the narratives about women of color, particularly black women, and they just can't. Their own internal biases cannot place a woman like Meghan in the spaces that she's in, with the success that she's got, with the love that she received, with the influence that she now has. I mean, that is it. Le Creuset, the company that did the pot, selling out. It is literally selling. And not only is their pot selling out, other cookware companies have now jumped on the marketing bandwagon. Hey, if you can't afford the £150 Meghan pot, buy our $80 pot. So other companies are now profiting from Meghan's influence, even though they weren't even featured in the show. But the ones that were featured in the show, people have been IDing things like, the fruit baskets, the cups, the t-shirt Meghan was wearing when she was, writing the calligraphy. It's all selling out. Everything is selling out. Oh. Sharon, you said it's not relatable because she's not a single black mother living in an apartment making ends meet. And I think for a lot of people, that is the image that they have of us. That is the only image. And it's not like there aren't, black women who take up different spaces in society. Even though we do, a lot of the time, that's all people can see in their minds. That's the box that they want to put us in. Mind you, there are people of all different, races who, live very simple, lower income, or lower income. But that's just how powerful biases are. Mind you, I have seen on my feed single mothers in little apartments trying to make ends meet who still felt inspired by Meghan and who are still trying to bring joy into their lives. It doesn't matter where you are in life. It really just comes down to your character. Class cannot be bought. I've said this before. But you're right. That image, what you're describing, Sharon, that image is like, it doesn't matter how far we come. It's like people want to put us back in that box. And the idea of a black woman living a soft life, getting the prints, being in these spaces where we're typically not always seen, it just seems to rattle and shake people. Even in this here 2025. Lulu wasn't at the cut. No, she did one interview with the cut, which was very shady. And then there was a variety one, which was a little bit more, it was done a lot better. Benjamin, you said, hello to all, hello to you. Individually, I try to always greet, but I'm cooking a quick dinner at the moment. Even multitasking has limits. I hope your dinner is delicious. Are you making Megan's pasta? Um, Prudence, you said, these people are way too greedy. They sell their souls for 30 pieces of silver, indeed. They're desperate. I mean, Meghan is an industry. And unfortunately, the hateful side of it um, is a lot more profitable than the positive side. But people are slowly starting to call out the nonsense. Like honestly, if you go on TikTok, and it doesn't surprise me that the TikTok side, they're loving her over there. And then you said, I think the interview took Andrew down. Well, I think it raised more awareness about the situation, but he's still very heavily benefiting from being royal. And of course, I'm sure that the Queen left him a lot of money. And the failed smear campaign proves Meghan is just beyond them because they're sitting there and thinking, how, how did this thousand-year-old institution with all the media backing, the Rupert Murdoch, Jonathan Rothermere machine, how did it fail to break this one woman? Well, the answer is simple. You can't break a chosen one. You can't break God's favored. You can't break someone who's protected by the ancestors. You just can't. And see, this is what these people don't understand. They live only in the physical realm. They think every battle is fought in the physical realm. The tools that they have are only in the physical realm. They don't understand the spiritual space at all. All right, folks. I'm gonna leave things there. Thank you so much for being patient with me. Um, while I get over my cold. I hate having a cold while doing a podcast because I sound all fuzzy. Okay, I'm not gonna play the outro. Wishing you a lovely day. Thank you as always for streaming in. 700 people in the chat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Especially because I do my podcast in the UK now because that's where I'm currently based. Um, and I think most of you are based in the US. So I'm always so grateful that you're able to tune in. And on a Wednesday as well. Appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. Happy cooking, happy gardening. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.